if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. Writing is a solitary job where you need to be surrounded by people. This episode of Horrible Writing, that will never work. You can't fuck with yourself. Seriously? Don't. Oh my God, that's really bad. You probably should find other hobbies. You ever learn how to stop? Be happy. Don't bother me. I've seen better people. Do you really want to? And my third grade, give it up. Welcome to Horrible Writing, the rawest, most candid, in-your-face writing show on the interwebs because none of us have time to suck. Let's do this. Hey everybody, Paul Sading, your host. Welcome to Horrible Writing, episode 112. So, we are moseying right along through the year. I cannot believe it's already November. The days are growing darker and colder, and for those of us on the top of the world, those of you on the bottom of the world, just flip everything I say, except for all the writing advice that comes in later. So things are cruising right along, too fast, kind of, because RIP is out, but I've been struggling with audiobooks, and it's my own fault. So that aside, it's really slowed me down. And of course, you all know the story if you're a long-time listener about the Achilles stuff, which really threw me off my rhythm, and then the recent battle with unemployment and trying to figure out the freelancing world, which is what I'm going to try to do, and it'll be very interesting. So all of these things have thrown me off my rhythm, and at some point, I'm going to talk about structure, but if you are a blog reader, head over to paulsading.com. There's a little tab at the top for blogs. You can go into the blogs, and I actually talk about a recent example of structure that I give to everybody, but I also gave in the Horrible Writing Writer Support Group on Facebook. If you're not there, why? Seriously. There's over 700 of us. We're sharing book covers, book cover ideas, blurb feedback, how-tos. If you're a newer writer, new-ish writer, if you're a recently published author still trying to figure this out, if you've been around for 15 years and you're still trying to figure this out, come over and join us. We are a great group of people. We really are. We're safe. So go join us. But anyway, all that aside, all those things aside, I've been dealing with that stuff and dealing with these audiobooks, trying to get them done correctly and right and at my level, which is really weird because recently I'm listening to a prominent fantasy author's audiobook narrated by a professional who I'm sure got paid way more than I can pay a narrator, thus why I do my narration myself. And I can't tell you, I mean, now this is an epic fantasy, so there's a lot of content, very long audiobook, but I can't tell you how many mistakes I've heard in this book in terms of pronunciation of words, but also things like production stuff, like paper rippling in the background. You can literally hear the actor turn pages from time to time. Crazy stuff. Taboo, you don't do it. If I was part of that author's tribe, I could reach out to them, email, text, Facebook Messenger, and let him know, hey, dude, did you realize, right? But I'm not part of his tribe. Him and I exist in different worlds. But I can share that example in the Horrible Writing Writer Support Group on Facebook because that is part of my tribe. It's a group, a collective of people who get me, who get where I'm coming from, who get what I say. Good days, bad days, mediocre days, lukewarm days. It doesn't matter. They get where I'm coming from because they're all on that writing path. Some paths may divert and take a few detours along the way and then rejoin me later. I may be the one to go off course and have to seek out them later down the road. And unfortunately, sometimes I do see writers divert and their path starts going off, and I think they're going to come back, and then they never do. They just fade into the obscurity that is fate. A lot of times, the reasons people will do that is because they don't have that tribe. Now, your tribe is constituted of more than just fellow writers. I hope yours is. And if it's not at this moment, that's okay. But it's something that you need to start working toward, is building that bigger tribe. And this stuff happens very slowly over time through, sorry folks, but to be real, through putting out free stuff into the world. Everybody does it. Everybody puts free content out into the world. They have to. I mean, even, okay, you all know I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, but even Game of Thrones, something as monstrous as that, as profitable as that, still puts out free content. Now, I'm not saying they're going out and putting out 90-minute episodes, but they're still putting content out into the world. Whether, it doesn't matter, pick the medium, but they're putting things out there, and obviously they have a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff out there on things like YouTube, right? But they're still putting things out there free to attract tribe members. What are you putting into the world that attracts tribe members? If you can't answer that, or if your answer is, I'm not giving anything away for free, and I mean this genuinely, not as an insult, but show tagline, empowerment through candor, I worry about you and your future. If you're not willing to build a tribe, I don't know how you expect one to be built. People aren't just going to flock to you because of your awesome fiction or your self-help book or your audio drama podcast that's totally epic. They may be, but guess what? There's a ton of other ones just like yours. Yes, artist. You did not come up with some completely novel idea. More likely than not, you were influenced by somebody and tweaked it. But that core idea is still out there somewhere. And people are being served by that. They don't need your content necessarily. They're not going to find your content necessarily unless you start building that tribe. The tribe can be your patrons. Nobody's going to be a patron of me. Well, start putting free stuff out there. One patron is still the beginning of a tribe. Your fans, those loyal fans, those present fans, they don't go over the top, but they're there, sometimes just lurking in the background forever. The tribe is important. The tribe helps you know that you're not putting your art out into the void, into that black nothingness of space to just endlessly float away, at excruciating paces to remind you of all that time and investment that is lost. The tribe is there to identify with you. The tribe won't even know it. They're just going to respond to you with an email or a tweet, and they're going to thank you for something because that thing you wrote made them feel not so alone, or it validated them. All the while, as a creator, you're sitting there thanking them for their email because them identifying with that thing validates you. Those things encourage you on to take that next step through the good, and folks, it's going to come through the bad. And it's all about how you prepare yourself for that bad that helps you get through it. You can't just deal with the bad when it comes. You need that network. You need that support. And it's not that you need to have them there at your beck and call. That's not what this is about. This is more like that, that mountain stream instead of the flood. How media is today. We are inundated with stuff. Every time we turn around, there's one more thing we need to pay attention to. And you may have a one thing that's really awesome. And all of a sudden, it's gone. The attention's gone. The love's gone just as quickly as it came. That's what I'm talking about with the flood metaphor. But that mountain stream trickle, nice and slow and quaint and quiet, just flowing all year long, trickling along over the rocks on its way carving down the mountainside. That's what a tribe is about. And they can do amazing things for you. My newsletter group is an example of a huge element of my tribe. Me just sharing my stuff, my stories with them, but also asking questions and getting feedback from them. That's all market data. Those are things that I need to know, not for today, but as I plan out next month, next year, the next 5 years, the next 10 years. What they're telling me today helps me make those decisions. It influences. I don't ignore my tribe. It is a relationship. Now, if you're not interested in relationships, I need you to seriously consider that, because how are you going to build a tribe if you're not? It's not a one-way thing. This is you giving to them giving back to you giving to them. It's dynamic. It's something that you do for each other. Don't be that artist that expects people to fall at your feet because you've written the next great American novel or the best audio drama in the world and nobody's listening to. But if they would just give you a chance, they'd love it. I'm sure they would. But we have to invest. We have to build that tribe. It helps us in the long term. It helps us sustain. It helps us keep going. It's a sounding board, and it is also that resonating sound echoed back to us. Kind of like the whale calling in the ocean and using that echolocation to find have it bounce back off a rock. I don't know, the ocean floor or whatever. I haven't been a whale. I don't know exactly what they look to do. But that's what we're doing, and the tribe lets us know where we are. They help you with your book launch. They are the ones who tell their friends about that thing they just read that they really enjoyed. They're the ones who share it on their social media and their Facebook. I've got a handful of people who do that every time I post something. You know who you are. Most of you listen. And some days are just downright crappy, and you see somebody take 5 seconds out of their day to share your thing with their friends. And all of a sudden, you don't feel so alone, and you feel like, man, I can do this for one more day, because that person decided to take a couple seconds to just share your message. We support. We lift each other up, writer and non-writer. There are no parameters on this. Your tribe can be anything, but these are the people who identify with you, with your message, with your brand, what you're putting out there into the universe. Don't ignore them. Take that time, build that relationship, and rise together. If you've enjoyed this show over its 112 episodes, go ahead and leave a rating and review. At least a rating. Let the world know what you think about it. That would be great. I know it's a pain in the butt. I know it is. But those things really do make a huge difference to me. And again, it's part of that tribal mentality, right? We take care of our own, whatever our own is, in a healthy way. Don't take that with nasty, gross, outdated connotations. Anybody can be part of the tribe in Paul's world, at least. As long as they're a good person. That's my one qualifier. If you're a good human, you can be. And if you want to support this show, of course, patreon.com/Paul Sading, or just go to paulsading.com and click on the support tab. Every dollar helps out immensely with these costs. Trust you me. Especially in this day and age where I don't have that reliable paycheck coming in. Those things allow me to continue this stuff on. Until you hear from me in episode 113, I'm about to go enjoy some people around here not Washington, in Las Vegas, because I'm at the 20 Books to 50K conference. and I'm going to be talking to my tribe for the rest of the week. Keep being epic.
Transcription by Renzi Lee over at Renzi Lee Freelancing. For fast turnaround times on content writing, transcription, and editing services, email Renzi at renzileefreelancing@gmail.com.
This has been Horrible Writing, and hopefully after this episode, you suck less than you did at the beginning. I am Paul Sading, your host extraordinaire. You can find me over on the Twitterverse at Writing Horrible and over at paulsading.com/horrible-writing. Until next time, suck less.